Today we've been joined by potential AFLW draft prospect from South Australia, Popi Gikas. Popi, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Tell us a bit about yourself. What got you into footy and what type of player you are?
So I'm originally from the Northern Territory, born and raised. Moved to South Australia last year, and a boarder, so living away from home. Growing up, I've always loved footy. You know, I'm one of four. My brothers are extremely into it, but there was just not a lot of opportunity for me to play football, so I was playing soccer for a bit.
Yeah.
But my home back in Darwin, we actually live across from an oval with a local footy team, so ended up joining them around 14.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, just got really into it and started to enjoy it heaps.
That's good. So obviously you made that decision to move from the NT down Adelaide. Was it a hard decision to make, not only to move states, but at the age you're at now, obviously being in the draft year this year, and only been playing footy for not as long as some others would have?
Definitely wasn't a hard decision. It's always been something that I was working towards getting out of Darwin. Just opportunities were lacking there. Love it's my hometown, but I just knew that if I really wanted to pursue my dream, I had to get out. But yeah, it's hard living away from home, but absolutely loving it in Adelaide.
That's good. So obviously playing for the Woodville West Torrens, making the move there. How did the opportunity come about to join the Woodville West Torrens?
So my sister has also moved to Adelaide as well.
Okay.
Narelle, the coach, had interest in her to move over.
Yeah.
And then she found out that she had a sister, which was me, and then she just reached out and just wanted to see if I was interested in moving, and glad I did.
That's good. So does that make it much more comfortable moving to different states and then having your sister by your side as well?
Oh, it makes it heaps easier. Like on the weekends I get to see her, and just knowing that I have someone there makes the transition heaps easier. So
that's good. What type of player would you best describe yourself as a footballer?
I actually don't know.
Brand new into it?
Sorry?
So you're more brand new into football, obviously just joining the club recently. So is there any positions, though, you reckon that you're been talking with the coaches that they want you to play?
Yeah, so when I came over to Woodville and into the SANFLW, they saw me more as a wing player just because of my running ability and my speed.
Yeah.
Was a bit hesitant at the start, but absolutely love playing it. They've taught me well, taught me heaps of tricks and ways around it, and it's made me feel so much more confident going into the new role. Yeah, so I would consider myself as a natural winger because I picked it up quite well.
Nice, that's good. So, also, have you had any practice matches yet leading up to the season?
Yeah, we had 2 trial matches before the season started, and we are in round 2 now. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, of course. So, how round 1, and how were those practice matches? Did you kind of fit in and get amongst everyone, and then obviously play good footy as well?
Yeah, so the practice matches, of course, there was a bit of nerve because never played at that level before. So I think the first practice match, I got to see how it really was. It's the type of footy that it is speed, and then going into the second game, felt a lot more confident because I knew I knew what was going to happen, sort of thing. And I think round 1, I'm quite a nervous player, but something was different for round 1. I just felt really confident and ready because a huge preseason, and the girls at Eagles are so supportive and they just get around you. So felt really confident and just ready to go.
That's good. So how proud were you making your debut in round 1 for the Eagles?
Yeah, it was very exciting, to hear, and people the family at home and friends from home were excited for me as well, which made me feel a lot more confident as well that I had people having my back. So it's something that I'm very proud of, and yeah.
That's good. So how did you feel you fared in the first game?
Yeah, I think I did all right. Definitely a few tweaks that I can improve on, but no one plays perfect games, and love having feedback so I can improve for future.
That's good. So what would you say is some of your biggest strengths as a footballer?
I would say my strength would be my running pattern and my leg, just more in particular my short 45s.
That's good. So who's some of your favourite teammates? I know you're quite new to the club, but you've been able to get a bit of a bonding session, I suppose, with people and get to know people a bit more now that you said being in the preseason. Who's some people that you lean on and some good mates of yours now?
Definitely have gotten closer to Bianca and Grace Martin.
Oh yeah.
Just like closer to age, and more the older girls like Sophie Zul, and a lot. We all get along really well, but just especially Sophie Zul, just because she's a winger and she taught me a lot about the position. She's got great knowledge, so I can always rely on her.
That's good. Yeah, I've had Grace Martin on and Bianca Patara. I'm assuming that's who you're referring to. I've had both on.
Yeah.
People, and it's good to supposed to not only come in with your sister, but then also have some teammates that you can get along with, because it's always, I'm sure it's interesting and potentially nerve-wracking as well to come into a new club. Yes, you had your sister by your side, but in terms of the whole group, it's hard to fit in. It's nice to hear that it's been pretty smoothly for you. Yeah,
great club. Like the culture there's amazing. We're just really like one really tight unit.
That's good. So what are some goals you set for yourself this season? Obviously, I'm assuming one was to make the league debut, and now that's obviously happened. So what's some other goals you set for yourself?
Well, some short goals would be just being consistent, like with playing league, and also for me just to make the Allies squad.
Yeah.
Just because I'm NT based, so that's something that I've been striving for. Just playing good footy and then getting into that, and then just after that, seeing where that leads to.
That's good. So obviously, you speak of the Allies, which correlates to the AFLW side of things as well, from the state championships as well. Obviously, being in your draft year, obviously just joining South Australian Football League. How do you feel heading into this? Do you feel any more added pressure? Because as you said, you've just moved to a new club, and this is also the draft year as well for you. Not saying, of course, it can happen at any point. Don't have to be this year, but feel any added pressure on top of moving to the club and then being the draft year as well?
No, not in particular. Like you said, like there's no like limit to when you could get drafted. Like I understand that it's my draft year, and of course I'd love to get picked up straight away, but anything can happen, and if not, I just keep working harder and just see what happens after that. So not a lot of pressure. I think more pressure for myself than anyone else, but like you said, anything can happen.
That's right. I mean, one name that comes to mind, because I've had her on a few times, Elise Sheeran from the Tigers. She's 31 now. She only got picked up 2 years ago, so 29 years old. So it shows that, it can happen at any point in time, whether you're 18 or 30 even. You can still get in competitions. Who'd you grow up supporting in the AFL, AFLW?
So I grew up supporting Hawks in the AFL. And then in the W, I'm a St Kilda fan just because the Hawks didn't come out until 2 years ago. So still support Hawks in the W, but love St Kilda.
It's good. I'm a Sainer as well, Poppy. So that's I know exactly. Love that. Good. This is probably the first time I've had someone on the last 2 months, and there's been a lot of people on. That's one of the first ones that have said St Kilda. So I'm glad we've finally got someone. Good. Welcome to the same. Who are some players you try and watch and try and either model your game off them, or some players that are like an idol inspiration type that you like watching in both competitions?
Yeah, well, I actually go for St Kilda in the W because of Georgia Patrikos.
Oh yeah.
Greek girl like myself, so always watched her. Try to base myself off the way she plays. Great player.
Yes.
In the men's space, Hawks fan Surioli, like amazing player, skillful base. Would love try, or I wouldn't say not as far as being a player like him, but definitely have inspiration from him as well.
That's good. Yeah, two great options. Cyril being a great small forward, and Georgia, St Kilda's best midfielder, and a really talented midfielder. I think she'd only be 23. I think so. She's had some good BNFs and everything along the way, and I'm sure she's got plenty of years ahead of her. How did you feel that the Saints girls side went this year? Obviously, falling short of finals by percentage. Must be frustrating, as was I.
Yeah. From the previous seasons, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Not much we can really do about it, but hoping to have a good season this year.
Yeah, I'd hope the same. I mean, a few additions to the draft and a few to the trade. Hopefully, they can hope to bump back. And then the Hawks. How do you reckon the Hawks boys will go this year? Obviously, they're going to start this week against the Bombers.
Yeah. Try to not jinx them by opening up my mouth, but hopefully, we're getting yeah, I don't know. Just don't want to jinx them, but we're looking strong. Jai Newcomb, sad about CJ, but what can you do?
That's right.
But exciting to see Guinea. So excited to see what he can bring.
Fan favourite Ginnivan was at Collingwood and obviously still will be at Hawthorn or anywhere for that matter, wherever he is. And even for people that don't even support the team he plays for. And yeah, Hawks will be interesting one to see how they go this year. I mean, they could be anything, especially if they improve. Losing all those key defenders for them doesn't help. Now, have you ever had any personal footy accomplishments, whether that's in the form of premierships or individual awards?
Well, recently would probably be my round 1 debut.
Yeah.
And I think I've made a couple grand finals in NTFL.
Nice.
Didn't win any, but last year would have probably been one of my favourites, because we've grown up from under 14s all the way through to 16. So we did really well that season, but yeah, it would probably be that.
That's right. I mean, getting to a grand final is one thing, and yes, it's obviously disappointing to lose, but it showed that you're so close and a key away from winning, basically.
Yeah.
That's right. So, have you got any nicknames, Poppy, that you get at any of the clubs you've been a part of?
So Poppy is actually my nickname. My real name's Calliope. So, my nickname is Poppy, but there is another Poppy at Eagles, Popi Waterford. So we're trying to find a nickname for myself just because it gets really confusing on the field. But yeah, I think PG's coming about, and I don't know how it's going to work, but we're just trying to find something that just rolls off the tongue a bit easier.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, it'd be nothing worse than having two nicknames be the same on a football field at least and getting called, what are you talking to me? Or especially if you're in the same vicinity as each other as well. But PG, that's actually a good one. I know it's an obvious one being the initials, but from a nickname point of view, but PG relating to the TV ratings. Interesting one. Coaches' pets. Have you found any coaches' pets, Poppy, while you've been at the club?
No, not really. Like, our coach is very fair. She treats everyone the same. You can always rely on her for anything. She's really respected at the club. So I wouldn't say there's any coach's pet.
That's a good one. Now, this one can go interesting. Who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at the Eagles and can't get enough of it? Because I've had a few on.
Definitely Bianca.
Yes.
She's definitely the one of the main characters in the Eagles. Can always rely on her on bringing the vibe up, having a laugh, and she's just great, like with energy wise. So yeah, probably Bianca.
That's good. Is there anything in the club that someone does, Poppy, that you can't stand, whether it's leaving rubbish around, just being flat out annoying, jump scaring people? Because that's the trend these days at any level. Is there anything that comes to mind that someone does something that annoys you at footy or just in general?
Oh, I love having my sister at the club. Like, absolutely love having her there. But every time she opens her mouth, it's just like, what is she going to say, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's probably about it. Like, she's a different character, my sister. But yeah, love having her, but freaks me out when she opens her mouth.
That's fair enough. Outside of footy interests that you have, Poppy?
Sorry, what was that?
Any outside of footy interests that you have?
Not really. I love my footy so much, but I love my music, like just listening to music, but yeah, that's about it.
So any favourite music bands?
Yeah, I love Chris Brown, a bit of Drake.
Yep.
Beyonce, like, yeah, stuff like that.
That's fair enough. Favourite TV shows or movies you got?
I recently just finished watching The Boy Who Swallows Universe, the
Okay.
recent one on Netflix. But a huge fan of Gilmore Girls. Love it. Yeah.
I've heard that answer before. That's a couple of times at least now I've heard that answer.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say, Poppy, is the best individual game you've ever played, and it's probably got you into the position that you're in right now? Is there any particular game that stands out to you of your football career so far?
Yeah. So about, I think it was 2022, early 2023, before I was leaving to boarding school.
Yeah.
We had a NT Academy match, and it was one of the last games I was going to play before I headed to Adelaide. And I don't remember much of it, but watching back is just, I think I didn't remember much of it because I just enjoyed myself. Like I was in the moment, and I was able to execute well. And yeah, that's probably one of the most impressive games I've had, just because I wasn't stressed about anything and just really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's good. End on a high note, as they say. That's a good way to bow out.
Exactly.
Now, best goal you've ever kicked? Obviously, you said playing up forward, so I'm sure at some point there's some goals, and maybe regularly. What's one of the best goals you've ever kicked at any level?
Last year in our under-18s grand final in the NTFL, we were down by, I think, 2 goals or a goal.
Yeah.
And it was right on the left boundary on the arc.
Yeah.
And someone kicked it to my teammate. She, it was like coming on the ground a bit. She tripped over her feet, picked the ball up, gave it to me on the run. I was coming from the left side of it.
Oh, yeah.
Picked it up, and I just saw an open goal square, put on my boot, and went straight through. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's probably one of my favourites.
Did you whip out a goal celebration?
Yeah, I sort of just like jumped up in the air, and one of my teammates came and just lifted me up. Put us back in the game. So
that's good. The teammate didn't drop you, did they?
No. Like sort of just like Titanic moment.
Nice. Yeah. At least there'd be nothing worse than it wouldn't be failed on your part, but a failed attempt of a celebration if they dropped you and base planted or something like that. That wouldn't be good. Now, this can be as unrealistic as you want here. If you could best describe, Poppy, the best goal you would love to ever kick, whether it's a check side, a torp, a boundary, the moment, the occasion, add that all together, what would it be?
Ooh, I reckon it would definitely have to be a winner, a game winner.
Yes.
Either mark inside 50 or maybe just out of my range.
Yep.
Just so people can just think, she's not going to get it. It's out of her range.
Yeah.
And slot it through, or either, again, like a game winner, and it's like on the run and you straight on the boot, and then the siren goes as it's going through. Something like that. Yeah.
That's a good one. I like there's plenty of good options, and that is certainly one of them right there. You can't go wrong with that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. All good. We just had a bit of problems there, gents. Sorry, and ladies. But that's okay. You can't go wrong, Poppy, with that goal. That'd be a nice goal. And as I said, you got plenty of options to go through. Now, speaking of goals, mark or goal of the year, which one would you rather do and why?
Oh, definitely goal of the year.
Absolutely. Any particular reason jumps to mind as to why that's the case?
It's just goal of the year is always something that's just like out there, and either like a game winner, like can be that. So yeah, just love a goal.
Absolutely, same here. Goals are everything. I mean, I get a 50-50 answer every time when I ask this question, and I understand why. They're both awesome, but yeah, I agree with you. It's a goal is awesome. Yeah. Would you be one if you were to kick it after the siren goal or an amazing goal? Would you be one to post it or share it or tweet it or something of that form?
Oh no, not really. I don't really like doing things like that. But I guarantee a family member would post it, and yeah, so I can rely on a family member to post it, but nah, not the type of person to really post things like that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that'd be awesome to see. And they're boasting on your behalf. It's like, even if you don't do it, thanks, Mum, thanks whoever there, thanks for doing that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or the opposite happens and you get embarrassed that they're sharing it and then everyone's saying stuff about it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
sort of like that.
Yeah, that's interstate trips. Now, obviously, being in the NT, moving to Adelaide, obviously making that move was an easier move, as you said. Are you a fan of interstate trips? And have you had to do many trips over your football time?
Yeah, so being a part of the NT Academy, I think I've been in it for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
You know, we've travelled to Alice Springs, Melbourne, but I reckon my favourite one would have been last year in the 16s championship where we went down to the Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so very lucky to be able to travel and play football, especially at that level. So, and especially with girls from home, because I don't get to play footy with them a lot. So being able to play with them is just a great feeling.
That's good. And how beneficial is it from a bonding point of view as well to go on and play and travel to wherever you're going to and get to build that connection further with the players that you're playing with?
Yeah, it's very it's a very special time just to bond because we're around each other basically 24/7. And we do lots of team bonding sessions before and after games. So yeah, and you share rooms with each other, so constantly talking to each other, and yeah, it's just a great opportunity just to build on the connection you already have a bit further.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's definitely a good thing to have. Toughest opponent you've ever had to match on, Poppy? Is there anyone that comes to mind, in particular a player, or is it more so a team that you feel has been the toughest opponent for you?
I haven't really played much SANFLW, like I said, 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But back in the NTFL would probably have to be up and come Marika Carlton. Oh, that girl is amazing. Like the speed on her ability to run and chase, you know, her leg. I had puts on a great fight against me and her. So yeah.
And that's good. Some teammates you've been impressed by, they kind of fly under the radar a little bit, that really don't get as talked about as much as you feel they should, or they get talked about but not as much as you feel they should?
Well, not sure. Who I don't really pay much attention who gets talked about much, but Gracie Martin, like, unbelievable player. Her skills, her work rate, the way she goes about it, like, she's a great player, and excited for what comes her way this year. And probably Chrissy Lutzi. Oh, she's amazing player. Like she's amazing in the back line. Like, can always rely on her to run and carry the ball. Like, I feel secure when she has the ball in her hands because I know something great's about to happen. So yeah.
That's good. And yeah, Grace is definitely one to keep an eye on later on in the year when the draft comes around, for sure.
Definitely.
Have you ever had any AFL or AFLW player interactions, Poppy, as a fan? If so, were there any memorable or forgettable moments?
So being Greek, I was able to attend the Multicultural Academy for 2 years. And being on that academy, Monique Conti came to them.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, great person, like, learnt so much off of her. And, you know, being one of the best in the game, being able to interact with her, like, especially one-on-ones, it's something that I don't take for granted at all. Yeah, just probably one of the highlights of the trips is being able to meet her.
That's great player, good person as well. I've met her as well. And
great person.
And on top of all that, a gun player, I'm pretty sure she's only 23 and she's won 5 Richmond BNFs just casually, and obviously an AFLW BNF this year just gone as well. So obviously a gun for the Tigers, and they're lucky to have her there. Some fun facts about you, Poppy, that people may not know about you.
I I'm a twin. I've got a twin brother.
Yep.
Well, I'm from Darwin. Lots of people don't know that just because I live in South Australia.
Yeah.
And yeah, I reckon that's about it. I have 3. That's probably about it. Twin and live Interstate.
That's good. So obviously you mentioned before the allies, Poppy. So how beneficial would it be for you to play in that game, as you would know, then you're playing alongside the best of that state, or those states in the allies case, and then playing again, SAWA, etc. And what a great opportunity that would be to then know these are the people that are going to be drafted this year, and then you'll know what it needs to be to get, or need to know what to do to get picked up in the next level.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Like, you'll be able to not compare, but really see who's in your category, and just being able to play amongst the best and versus the best. Your real football ability is able to come out in those games. So it will be a great opportunity to be a part of, and I just can't wait to see what happens if I do get to be a part of it. So
yeah. That's right. Now, defenders, Poppy, I feel like they deserve a bit more love and attention than what they get. Obviously, the midfielders have the Brownlow, and rucks get recognised in Brownlow votes these days, and then you got the forwards, you got the Coleman. So, do defenders deserve their own official title of an award at AFLW level in particular, since the other positions haven't?
Might need a bit of time to think about this.
All right, I can come back to it.
Yeah, come back to that. Sorry.
Come back to it. Now, this is the part of the podcast where probably people's hearts, teammates' hearts get broken. Teammates' hearts go up. They love you more and more and more, depending on how these answers go. Best chatterbox of the club?
Bianca.
Good. I had a feeling that might be the answer. If you were stuck on a deserted island with teammates, who would you like to bring and not want to bring, and why?
Probably bring Popi Waterford.
Yep.
She's very smart, actually, like reads a lot. And just even when we do conditioning and struggling, like questioning how am I going to finish this, she just pops up with something to talk about, and it just shucks your mind off it. So being alone on an island with her, time would go by fast. Someone not to bring. Oh, probably my sister.
Interesting.
Yeah, love it a bit, but she was just stressing out too much being on a deserted island with her.
That's fair enough. Now, loudest and quietest teammates?
Loudest, either I've got 3 would be Popi Waterford, Bianca, or Leah Cuttings. And quietest would be, I wouldn't say she's quiet. When you talk to her, great conversations with her, but I don't know. Everyone just gets around each other, so I wouldn't actually know a quiet one.
That's fair enough. Now, backtracking to the question before, do defenders deserve their own title since other positions got one?
Probably Braden Maynard.
So you basically you feel like defenders do deserve their own title, basically.
He's a great player. Braden Maynard for sure.
Player of the Pies is Braden Maynard.
Yeah.
Now, this is part of the podcast now where people's opinions go wild about these food critique questions, Poppy. I'm sure you've heard of some of these. You may have, you may not have, but I assume you would have heard of some of these. Now, chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
Palmy, and I disagree with anyone that says Palmer.
Thank you very much.
Palmy all the way.
That's right. I mean, it's spelled P-A-R-M-I, not Y, not E, not A, not O. It's an I. And it's pronounced Jana.
Yeah, all the way.
Absolutely agree. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand what people's thought process goes to when they say something else. They're just flat out wrong. Now, that's 1 for 1. That's good. Now, next one. Where are we? Tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Oh, it tastes better when it's from the fridge.
All right.
Cold tomato sauce. Yeah.
All right, I'll accept that. 2 for 2. That's a good start. Now, this is generally the one, Poppy, that always, not always, most of the time gets divided and an opposite answer to what I have. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
No.
Good. With 3 for 2.
Does not belong in a pizza.
I agree. Yeah, it definitely doesn't. That's 3 for 3. That's good. Three of these ones to go. Favorite food?
Probably would have to be a gyros.
I'm going to sound like an idiot, but what is that?
It's like a Greek wrap, like it has meat from the like the charcoal.
Okay.
Yeah, delicious. You should try it.
All right. I'll put that in the on the notes, and we'll give it a go. I can't really grade that, so I'll keep that as ungraded because I can't say I like it. All right. Favorite takeaway place?
GYG, Guzman and Gomez.
That's good. It's a good answer. Now, going to sound a lot. I've had a bunch of the WA girls on the last few months, and also went to Perth to do a Gold King challenge not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago. And the first time someone brought up for this question, they said Sombreros and GYGs, I've heard as well, but mainly Sombreros. And their reaction when I said I didn't know what that was basically a what the flip moment. Have you heard of it?
Yes, Sombreros, and a lot of people say that Sombreros is far better than GYG, and I totally disagree.
Again, I'm ungraded. When I was in Perth, look, I wasn't looking for one, but I want to find one. I haven't heard of one in Victoria before where I am, and I'm going to have to study to find one. And I want to see, and GYG for that matter, and see why they talk it up so much. I like the type of food they do because I heard that they do burrito wraps and stuff like that, which I like.
Yeah.
I'll accept that. So 4 for 4, good. All right. Best dish to cook. If you do cook.
Best dish to cook.
Yeah.
Probably my spaghetti, I reckon.
Nice. That's good. 5. I like that answer. That's 5 for 5. Let's see if you can be the fourth ever person to get all right. Right. This could be the one. Food you don't like.
Oh, that's probably I'm probably the worst person to ask that. I'm not picky at all.
Well, that counts. Is there any particular type of food you would prefer not to have? Like if you were to say, if there was a menu and you had to say, okay, out of all the options, I probably wouldn't pick this. Is there something or type of food? Is it a certain dish? Like, is it a chicken thing? Is it a beef thing? Is it a fish thing? Is it a sauce? Is there anything that comes to mind? Is it pineapple?
I can eat pineapple, just not on a pizza, but I like seafood, but when it's the exotic type of seafood, I'll probably stay away from that.
All right, so that's 6 for 6, Poppy. Well done. You're the fourth person now. Gee, on a roll now. I couldn't get anyone for like 4 weeks to get all of them right now. I've got like 4 in 3 days, so I'm on fire. That's good. All right. Now, away from the food questions, what are some quirks, Poppy? Some people would say that you have, that you wouldn't necessarily like to admit.
Some what, sorry?
Some quirks. So, like, something that people would consider odd or say, gee, why do you do this? Would there be something that comes to mind that you feel that someone would say you do, even if you don't agree with them or not?
Probably would be paper, scissors, rock.
Oh yeah.
Like, everyone just goes like, "What paper, scissors, rock?" Like it's rock, paper, scissors, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I just find it really weird how I say that, but of course I find it weird that they say rock, paper, scissors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I reckon that's probably the top one.
That's fair enough. I mean, people should know what you mean when you say it that way. Look, I say rock, paper, scissors as well, but you know what it means.
Yeah. Just like continue with the game.
Exactly right. Now, this only just come to my mind because you said it. Let's do best out of 3 rock, paper, scissors. Let's see who wins. You ready?
Yeah, right. Wait, we're doing paper, scissors, rock or rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, whatever. Oh, rock, paper, scissors then, just to clarify it. All right.
Okay, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes, that's right.
All right, let's go.
Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, we're on the delay then. Oh, scissors as
Yeah.
well. All right. Rock.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Fine. Go again. Rock. Shoot. Damn it, that's... I'll give you that one. We'll do one. That's good. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you were going to go rock then. That's why I did that. All right. So, some of your most prized possessions.
Ooh. Probably be my AirPods.
Yep.
Haven't lost a pair since I bought them.
Nice.
And I reckon my other one would be my boots.
My footy boots.
Yeah.
Nice. Any particular designs on them, or colour, or brand?
Asic Menace. They are the greatest boots I've ever worn.
Very nice. Have they been ones that you've had for a very long time? Do you chop and change, or do you try and get the same ones?
I've had them for about, well, not the same pair, but I've had them for about 2 years now.
Oh, nice. Nice, that's good. Nice brand. Maybe need a brand sponsorship. That might help.
Yeah, that'll be good.
It would be. All right. Celebrity crush.
Ooh. Definitely Drake.
I'm not surprised because you mentioned him before, so
yeah.
Interesting one. All right. Okay. Favorite? Oh no, you mentioned that. Game day superstitions, Bobby. Do you have any game day superstitions at all?
Like if I don't do something, I won't play well. Is that what you mean?
Kind of. So like okay, I'll make an example up. So for example, you have to have the same breakfast every morning, or you have to do something at a certain amount of time of the day, or you have to put your boots on first, or socks on one foot, and then something like that, basically.
So I have to go out to the oval and go right in the center.
Oh yes.
And just pick a bit of grass out and just rub them in between my hands.
Oh yeah.
And I also do that before walking out into the wing. Like go to my position, get a bit of grass, and every quarter so that's probably one of them. That's
good. I mean, I do something similar with cricket. I go to the middle of the cricket pitch and I just bring my cricket bat and start tapping the synthetic pitch. It's
I don't know why I do it. It's just routine.
That's right. It's a routine, and it's a good thing. You suss out the conditions as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
Jumper number. What jumper number do you wear? And is there any meaning behind it? And did you get to choose it?
So I wear 2 at the Eagles.
I
was just asked by the coach, hey mate, like how do you feel about wearing 2? I was absolutely stoked. Like coming into a new club, you don't really get to have a low number. You sort of get an offense to the higher numbers, but being able to have a low number like 2 was just like, like I would gladly wear. And didn't matter what number I wore, but number 2. And I actually wore number 2 when I was playing soccer. So.
Oh, nice. That's good. So I also mentioned some other sports. So did you play any other sports? Obviously, you just mentioned soccer.
Yep. So I did soccer and I played a bit of baseball, but that's about it.
Nice. Did you have a good baseball swing?
Oh, not really. I was just playing it for a bit of fun.
All right. Fair enough. And soccer players, do they take plenty of unnecessary dives?
Yeah, they do. I give them that. They do, but it's sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You get a free kick.
Yes, that is very true. I mean, some people would do that. Now, going back to jumper numbers, why do you feel that people love the single-digit jumper numbers? You just alluded to a little bit there. What do you feel is so important about a low jumper number between number 1 and number 9 compared to, say, number 36, for example? What can you put your head around what it is? The only thing I could think, the logical reason is maybe they see their heroes in AFLW wear jumper numbers, and generally the top players of each club are around those jumper numbers.
Like I said, nothing against having a high number.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it's like a thing. Maybe because it potentially can look better, like dead in the middle with 1 digit. But
Yes.
yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that could be another reason and anything reason. So a few more for you, Poppy. So I do appreciate you coming on. If you were the AFL, AFLW, or SANFLW CEO for a day, what rule would you change or add?
Or probably the stand rule.
Yes.
Catches me out. Like, it's something that I need to improve in my game is just standing still and just not being able, like, because I sometimes try and judge whether they're going to play on or not, and just catches me out. So yeah, probably the stand rule. Go back to the moving around, and especially in front of goal too, because it helps.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know why they brought that in, because it's just been loopholed and it's just been all over the place with it. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's a SANFL or SANFLW as well. Do they have the rule where if it goes out of bounds, it's not thrown in after a certain point?
I'm pretty sure if it's in the 50 and it's out on the full, it's a throw in, but it could be wrong. I'm pretty sure if it's out on the full, you kick it in, or it could be different when it's in the 50. But yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Okay, so I know there's one of the state leagues, and I'm sure it was a SANFL. I might be wrong. They might have changed it now. I don't know. But yeah, there was a rule where, like, if it was in play mainly outside of the 50-meter ruck, say it's on the wing, for example, and you kick it out of bounds, and it's not so-called deliberate. It's like a last touch type thing.
Yeah, it could be right. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, so last one, so the pressure coming on, Poppy. If you can map out this entire football season for you, a dream scenario for you, how would you like it to pan out from right now all the way until the December?
So like season or just year with football?
How would you love your football journey to pan out, like in terms of flaming for the Eagles, Allies, AFLW draft? If you can map it all out, what would you love your ideal draft scenario or footy scenario to be?
Well, number one thing, just to have a healthy season, no injuries.
Yes.
Hopefully I get to play every league game. Like, that's definitely something, and that's something that I want to work towards. And it's okay if I don't, because different things can happen, but definitely that. Would love to see Eagles in a final or even grand final. Like, just to make the finals would be great.
Yeah.
Like you said, to get to play for Allies and get to represent my my state and my territory.
Yeah.
And of course there's that dream of being able to get picked up by a club and get drafted. So yeah.
That's good. So just a quick one to add to that. Would you be happy to play anywhere if the opportunity was to go, say, play in a Melbourne-based club or Perth, for example? Would you be open to any state?
Oh, anywhere. I would gladly, like, any club that picks me up, I'll be over the moon.
Nice, that's great. So, Poppy, appreciate coming on. Thanks for coming on. All the best rest of the season. Hopefully, end of the year, we hear your name of the AFLW club. If not, in future years, I really do appreciate coming on.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.